Welcome to December Social Studies. It's me, Katie Grivna again, your SDAS for Social Studies. I am here again this month to give you your asynchronous learning for your professional development. And it is a short month. Holy cow, the school year has gone fast. Try 1 is done, and we are now into Try 2. And now I feel like December is always the busiest month of the year. Everything just goes quick. So today, what's going to happen is we are going to review our topics from concept-based learning that we've been doing since October. We're going to dive a little bit deeper again into that lesson that you created in October and have been using in November as well. And I know some of you didn't continue with the lesson. You just kind of started working on something that was coming up, which is completely fine too. And along with that, we're going to introduce some more concept-based inquiry and how it can be incorporated into your unit. So just to kind of recap, because I know every month goes so fast, and I want us to remember what we've been doing. October and November, we talked about concept-based learning. We are organizing our learning into around development of transferable ideas, both within and across our disciplinaries. And we're doing this because our standards are growing. On our workshop day in November, a lot of us had time to look at our standards. Some of you realized that not much had changed, but we are getting more standards. We're not getting less, if that makes sense. So we have to kind of start thinking about our teaching and our teaching differently, and which is why we are introducing concept-based learning. This is just something that we're going to be using and talking about more as we start sitting down with these writing teams within the next year and developing our material that we're all going to be using. So again, we're doing this because our standards are growing, they're not shrinking, and we have to kind of start thinking a little bit more outside the box to cover all of our material. Remember those phases of inquiry that we discussed last month? We had engage, which is engaging our children emotionally and our students to be activated in the material. Focus, to develop that shared understanding of how that unit is driving towards the main concept. We had investigate, where you're exploring factual examples within your unit. Organizing, making sure everything's laid out, whether it be a note sheet or something that we can organize and use different materials. And the last two was generalize, where we're forming connections located and finding patterns across that unit, and then transferring, whether it's to test and justify our generalizations or looking at different actions of one's learning when it comes to that specific unit. And then the very last one is reflect, which I feel like we need to talk more about for all of us, right? Whenever we're done maybe with a unit or a concept, I always forget to kind of reflect and go back. And as a teacher, I still find that hard today because we're moving so fast and it's like, oh yeah, I should probably make sure that the students really understood what we just did and what they just took a test on. I don't want them to forget everything the second they leave our room. So for December, what's our plan? We are going to focus on one of those concepts, and that's engagement for this month. And because December is a short month, we're just going to focus on one. And you have one short activity to do along with your community builder, which I hope some of you kind of chuckled at. I just thought it'd be something, I don't know, fun. And I'll send out the correct answers here right before winter break. But I want us to think about engagement. As things grow and our standards grow more, how are we going to get all of our students more engaged into our lessons? And with engagement, when it comes to concept-based learning, we want to continue to focus our teaching around those concepts, but also engage our students along the way, which is not unusual. And this is nothing groundbreaking. But what I did learn was that meaningful learning occurs when new information is linked to previously acquired concepts. And it's that scaffolding piece and how we grow on everything. And with engagement, oftentimes the material is new for that lesson. So how are we going to get the students along and engaged into that new material? By And that means that the students' questions towards the concepts are probably very surface level. And I think we encounter that quite a bit when we open up a new unit. We have a lot of these surface level questions. So how can we engage the students deeper? A lot of times I've seen those questions, those surface level questions at the beginning of the unit called First Think. And I thought that was a good term to highlight. First Think is kind of looking at our students' knowledge of what they know right away. And then that way we can use those First Think questions as a snapshot into how we can plan for this lesson for the future. Our students are different from year to year. Think about the knowledge that our students are going to have about COVID now moving forward. Or if you teach seniors thinking about the election, their First Think questions are going to be surface level. But by using those First Think questions to engage more into the text, into more of the resources you're doing, can only benefit all of us. So for your engagement activity this month, because again, we're only focusing on that phase of inquiry, we're going to pair the concepts from the lesson you chose to do in October with engagement strategies and your topics. You can use any engagement strategy you want, and you're just going to attach it to the assignment or create your own. Here, and I'll show you an example right here. So the chart at the bottom of the screen is what you're going to be filling out, and you're going to put down your concepts and your topics that you have for your unit. And with each concept and topic, just attach or describe an engagement strategy that you're going to be using to help your students understand those concepts or topics. You can use your own engagement strategies. I linked up a sheet on that assignment where you can look in there and maybe use some that are on that assignment that you've never done before. But I often forget that the more engagement strategies we have, the more students are going to attach to the assignment. And you can often turn those engagement strategies into your formative activities or even a summative assignment as well, if it's big enough. It's just to get us thinking about that lesson that you've been working on, and we're only going to focus in on engagement for the month of December. Again, it's due at the end of the month. Hopefully everyone's got everything done before winter break, so that way you can just sail out of here and enjoy your well-deserved almost 2 weeks off over winter break. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I appreciate all of you, and I am thankful to be working with all of the social studies teachers, and I appreciate your time.